and thank you so much for taking the time to be with us this afternoon. Welcome to the Future of Work Venture Showcase. And before we get too much into things, I just want to do a couple of house rules and then also introduce you, get a proper welcome for the people that made access to the space possible. Kino from Innovation City, they'll share a few words about the space and who they are. And then we'll jump straight to Krista, who'll give us a brief introduction into Enginee and why we're here today. Firstly, some house rules. Our Twitter handle is @Enginee, @EngineeEdTech. Please follow us, and hashtag Future of Work Venture Showcase. So tweet us, share pictures. We'd love for you to engage us on there. And then lastly, bathrooms are over there on the other side. And if you need access to Wi-Fi, feel free to ask the ladies at the front and they'll give you access to Wi-Fi. And the other one is, I think it's Travel Start Guest, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Cool. Fantastic. Bathrooms are over there. I got that right. Got it? And then there's food at the back. Please help yourself. There's some wine. And support small businesses. There's coffee by the cafe on the side there. So if you can get yourself a cup of coffee, you're more than welcome to do that. I'll stop talking and let Kino just do a proper introduction into Innovation City. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. He told me to be short. I am short, but my words normally aren't. So I'll try and be as quick as possible. I'd just like to welcome you all to our space. Era, you here? How many square meters? About 4,000, eh? You're taking 600 of those. Yeah, so close to about 4,000 square meters. I just want to make sure that you're all alive, because this is a fun event. So I'm not going to ask you to clap. I'm going to ask you to just make one hell of a frickin' noise and whatever. Come, let's hear you. That's nice. Woohoo! So this space is all about having fun. As you can see, it's kind of boutique hotel-y, but it's not that exclusive. We're just creating an environment where people want to come to work. You don't want to feel like the place is bloody corporate. Our culture here is we've got a zero asshole policy. So some of you, are you leaving there, sir? I see, okay. No, seriously, I think we want people to come here, and the bottom line is if you're innovative and you want to collaborate, we love having you here. It's that simple. This was conceptualized in November last year sometime between myself and then Stefan Egberg, the founder of Travel Start. We were always talking for years about how people are innovative, but they always innovate in their own little corners. And we said, why don't we create a space where innovative people who want to speak to each other come together and just, make innovation babies, as it were. So my mother always asks, what do you do? I say, it's Tinder for business, mother, right? As you speak, in one of our boardrooms, you've got an insurance company chatting to a big retailer, big retailers chatting to smaller businesses. If you're a small business, you're looking to get skills, to grow, you're a scale up, you want to get access to market. This is what we do. Our business is not just real estate. It's literally about mixing and matching people. We are invite only, not because we're exclusive, but because we want to manage what value looks like here, right? So it's great having companies like Ayoba here. We've got ShopStar, we've got Next 176, which is Old Mutual's growth and innovation hub. We're chatting to companies like Momentum who want to come in here as well. Dr. Raul Futerman is at the back there. He's going to help us with a design thinking track within the business. Raul, just stand up. He's the handsome guy with all the hair on his head. There we go. So that's what we're about. We're about making possibility babies. Just think Tinder, business, possibility babies. And no assholes, and that is Innovation City. Welcome. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Kino, for that and for being brief. Really appreciate it. And before Krista kicks off, I also want to say a special shout out, and I'll do a proper shout out later on to our sponsors and our partners. Cape Innovation Technology Initiative, Innovation City for sponsoring this space, AWS Start, Ayoba, Katedo, Rael's over here, Ground Floor, the team is also here from Ground Floor, woohoo! And then HubSpot for startups, Thank you so much for being part of this event and for making it happen. So thank you. Krista.
Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for coming. I'm going to keep my introduction really brief. I think most of you know a bit about Enginee, so I'm not going to waste too much time, and we'll get to the startups that you're all here to see. So, if I can get this working. What to expect today? Like I said, pitches. You're going to hear from 9 amazing startups. Only 2 of them are virtual, so we're lucky to hear from 7 that are going to be here in person, really telling you what they've built and how they're trying to impact the future of work. So look forward to that. We are also going to be giving away some really amazing prizes that have been made possible from our incredible sponsors. Seppo's already hinted at what amazing contributions these guys have given us, and we will thank them properly in just a few minutes. And then you're going to have a chance to network and meet everyone else who's interested in the same things as you. So enjoy that. There's food, there's wine, there's lots of great goodies, so please help yourself and enjoy the event. So for those of you who don't know, Enginee is all about making quality, relevant, accessible education for all across the continent. We are so happy to be working with the types of innovators who are doing just that, who are making it their mission to improve education for everyone, for children, for young adults, for individuals who are midway through their careers, who are looking to improve themselves. We really are all about increasing the employability of individuals across the continent and doing that through innovation and technology. So we have a number of programs. This is just one of our events. It's part of our ecosystem development initiatives. I'll tell you a little bit more about what that really means and what that looks like. But our sort of flagship program is our Acceleration Partnership Program. So we work with some really amazing startups who are directly influencing the quality of education across the continent. It's a Pan-African program. We support these guys in a really bespoke way. We consider ourselves part of their teams. We really try to do everything we can to enable them to create the impact we know they have the potential to do. So that's a really incredible program. That applications are always open, so we're always looking for new companies to support in that way. So if that might be you, your company, please apply. Go to our website and you'll find the application there. So ecosystem development is what this session is all about. We are all about really bringing the community together, making sure that we can uplift and empower the entrepreneurs who have this potential to create a big impact to improve education on the continent. We believe in the power of collaboration, and we really think that by bringing people together in forums like this, we'll become a lot more likely to make a significant impact on the continent and the future of Africa. So we hold meetups and other community events. This is one of our venture showcases, so a pitch competition that's really highlighting some of the innovative work in the space. We also hold a lot of panel discussions and roundtables and focus groups. So everything and anything you can do to really convene this audience of stakeholders and make sure that we're all working in the same direction collaboratively. And then finally, last but not least, the Enginee think tank. This is our research, advisory, and advocacy arm of the Enginee group. We really work with amazing international organizations that are interested in EdTech on the continent. We try to give them insight into how they can make their investments most impactful. We create evidence for the entrepreneurs we're supporting and make sure that they're able to make evidence-based decisions. This is all relatively new intervention, but it's been great so far. It's picked up a lot of traction in the last year, and we're really excited about where that's going. Very quickly, where our startups come from. We are truly a Pan-African company. Our programs span the continent. We have startups that are working all over. We have representation across 10 different African countries. We've reached thousands of entrepreneurs through our programs and direct support interventions. And most of the companies we've supported are still operational, so that's really great news. Here are our current acceleration partners. So this is, as I mentioned before, our biggest flagship program. These are the companies that we're currently supporting really intensively through that program. These guys receive our full commitment, our support. 100% of the team's time and resources really go to these guys at different phases of the year. All of them are really working towards improving education of children on the continent, with the exception of Utiva, who unfortunately can't be represented here today, but is very much in the future of work space. So with that, I think I'll hand over to Seppo to maybe say a little bit more about whatever programs you want to talk about. Thanks so much, everyone.
Thanks, Krista. I'll begin talking about whatever programs that. But I'll just speak a little bit about why we're here and sort of the motivation behind it. So Enginee is really trying to build a truly Pan-African community of edtech founders, innovators, investors, and enablers. So anyone that's really invested in improving access to quality education across the continent, if that's your mission and it's what you're passionate about, part of our ecosystem development initiatives is really to enable that ecosystem and build that environment for people to come together. So through these initiatives, what we hope to do by providing a platform to founders like the founders that you'll see today is provide access to market, technical skills and talent, access to technical skills and talent, expert mentors. So some of the sponsors that are sponsoring the initiatives are providing technical expertise to some of the founders or the winners of this pitch competition, but also access to funding opportunities as well as open collaboration. So I've already seen a couple of people initially sort of doing like introductions, putting the links together. Tembi and I earlier had already spoken about some of the opportunities that we could collaborate on in future, and really that is the point of ecosystem development initiatives. And we want to make it as truly Pan-African as possible, not just only South Africa. Particularly in terms of what is the point of this event? Again, strengthening and stimulating the African edtech ecosystem. I really mentioned that already. But also showcasing and supporting some of the innovations that are fostering digital skills development across sub-Saharan Africa. We've got about 3 companies that are coming outside of the country who will be pitching today. 2 are from Ghana and 1 from Kenya. We would have loved to have more, but we're working towards sort of expanding that reach a lot more. And then the last goal is to build a Pan-African community for edtech innovators to grow and scale through open collaboration and access to wide networks of stakeholders. That's pretty much it. Very straightforward, very simple. I'll stop talking again and then just jump straight into the judges so we can start hearing from the pitches. So I'd like the judges to take 30 seconds, introduce yourself, who you are, and what you're looking forward to today. Cool. I'll start with you, Fiona.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody. Lovely to be here today. My name's Fiona. I'm the Chief Executive of Capacity Digital Career Accelerator. We believe passionately in the education and development of young people in South Africa. I see amazing talent every day, and we're looking to bridge the gap between young people coming out of an education system and the world of work and perhaps some of the old-fashioned requirements that the world of work has for young people. So we really believe that we've got to bridge the gap. We believe that we've got to do it collaboratively. So we've already had conversations this morning this afternoon about people that we could work with. And I'm really, really excited to hear today about the innovation and ideas and future thinking, because, we can't rest on our laurels. We have to move forward and we have to see what's happening in the future, and we have to collaboratively drive change in South Africa and Africa to really make a difference. Thank you.
It does, but that's just an introduction as how clumsy I can be. Hi everyone, my name is Tembi Somakajana. I am the founder of a non-profit organization called Social Coding, and we provide digital literacy and coding classes to high schools, rural high schools in South Africa as well as Zambia. We're currently in 320 rural high schools in South Africa, but the goal is to be in all 4,056 by 2032. So yes, I'm very ambitious. We are huge believers. I know people see the name coding and they think, that's what we're about. We're about, building the next Google or Facebook. But actually, we're just about leveraging technology to help people build better lives. We believe that you need to equip every South African with the tools and skills that they need to be full participants of a changing world. I am super excited to be here today because I was just chatting now and saying that, if we're going to reach any of the goals that we've set for ourselves, not only as a country but a continent, we have to work together, right? We can't do this in silos. And for me, it's all about ensuring that everybody has an equal chance at living a great life. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Eero. As you might hear, I'm not from here. I'm from a very, very far away northern small country. called Finland. But although it's quite insignificant, I still bring two key things from my home country. One is that access to internet, interweb, whatever, should be a basic human right. And the second one is that whatever you do as a country, there's nothing more important than education. I think we don't have any natural resources or anything like that, but we are doing pretty well just because education. So that's about it. So very, very happy to be here because the company I work for actually tries to combine these two ideas. So basically, our very key focus area in Ioba is education and supporting the struggle of African lives, but also to remove the barrier to get to the internet. So yes, people have ability to access internet, but it's very costly. So what we are trying to do is making access to resources such as the company is pitching here free of charge. So you can combine access to education with all the other good things. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi everyone, my name is Manette. I'm a strategy director at NASPAS and an investment principal at NASPAS Foundry, which is the early stage tech investment vehicle within the NASPAS group of companies. We created NASPAS Foundry a couple of years ago, and really the purpose behind it is to help boost the South African early stage tech and entrepreneurial ecosystem, and very much in a collaborative way. And secondly, and most importantly, we do that by backing founder-led, high potential early stage technology companies, and critically important that address big societal needs. And really what we seek to do is we seek to back the next South Africa technology success story that helps improve everyday life. That for us is fundamental and core to our mission. And we do this in sectors such as edtech, marketplaces, fintech, insurtech. I'm proud to say one of our portfolio companies, the Student Hub, is sitting next to me today as a judge. And really, I think critically important, edtech is a massive sector for us from a global perspective and local as well. We're one of the largest edtech investors across the globe, and we've seen the fundamental shift that access to quality education has meant for everyday consumers. So I'm really excited to be here today. I think South Africa has a long road ahead in terms of broadening access to education. The Student Hub's on a journey, but it's at the start of the journey. And I think the playing field is massive. So if we work collectively, we can definitely change the course for this country.
Should I stand there? All right, cool. So as you heard, I'm going to be speaking next to my board member, and I have to be careful what I say here. All right, cool. So I'm Herzi Kabeya. I'm the founder and CEO of the Student Hub, an edtech company based in Cape Town. So what is it that we do? We basically think of a merger between edtech and HR tech, right? So we believe that if you're serious about education, you need to be serious about employment as well, right? So because that's almost like the end goal, right? So we are that operating system, so currently being used by vocational institutions in all the 9 provinces in South Africa, right? So we focus on vocational education. We provide educational institutions with the operating system that they require to operate, teach, assess, and then place students into the workplace, right? And our HR tech component works on connecting them with job opportunities based on acquired skill sets, right? So we bring the concept of proof of skills, versus experience to place our graduates. So in a nutshell, that's what we do, and I'm excited to be here. I guess I'm here because I'm an edtech entrepreneur, not an expert. I've been in this journey for 7 years now, getting some traction, but we're still at the beginning, right? But thank you very much for having me here.
Thank you. Thank you so much to the judges. Really appreciate again the time and commitment. You guys don't pay to be here, So incredibly grateful for that. Okay, so without further ado, I'm gonna just jump straight into it. We're gonna have 9 pitches come up here. We're gonna have one sitting, have all of them pitch. These companies have been carefully selected by myself and the team. But there's something important I want to note, which I've learned from sort of a prospective partner for the Acceleration Partnership, in that in education, technology is not the solution, but it's a tool. And I think that's one thing that's very strong, that comes across very strongly with some of the companies that are pitching here. So going beyond the smart tech into, does this actually help people on the ground? Does this really actually improve education outcome? Does this improve access to job opportunities? So I'm really excited to have these guys pitch this afternoon, and I'm excited for you guys to hear from them. So I'll stop talking and let the first one come up. So the first startup to pitch, they'll introduce themselves, and they have 4 minutes to pitch. After the 4 minutes, the judges will ask questions, and then from there we'll move on to the next pitch, and that's really would be the order. And then at the end, we'll do the final scoring, and there's some exciting prizes to be won at the end. So really excited, and once again, thank you for coming. So first up is Zayo. So I'll let Velo come up and pitch.
Hello, everyone. So my name is Umvelo from Zayo. I just want to tell you a bit more about what we do. So let's have a conversation. I need a clicker. All right, perfect. Cool. So at Zayo, we kickstart careers. So we believe that we need to teach industry-relevant coding education to prepare the future talent of this nation and the continent. So if we have to be real, digital skills education is extremely flawed. It is costly, it is inefficient, and is very inaccessible for most. So enter Zayo. What we do is we offer an online learning platform where we teach people how to code through various learning paths. And then with that, we also help organizations to also teach their beneficiaries or their staff using these learning paths, or we also create certain learning paths for them as well. So just a bit more about our product. So we have an interactive video player. Here we try to simulate as best as we can live learning classes, even though everything is self-paced. We have on-demand live support for anyone that does get stuck. We understand that these concepts sometimes do get a bit tricky, so we have that available to learners whenever they need it. We have engaging courses, and then the career paths that we have on the platform are very industry relevant. Even how we came about in creating them, we started from the employers and then created them and worked backwards. So what we believe is that our learners come in to learn. They get practical experience, so all our content, all our learning is practical based, and then they get certified with an accreditation from the MICT-CETA, and we're currently working on other accreditations as well. And then at the end of it, the biggest component is really for them to start earning a living. This is the part of our business that we're still doing a lot of work on, but it is around full-time as well as part-time employment. It is outcome-driven, it's aligned to industry standards. They simulate real-world projects, and then we help them just before they leave us to actually prep for interviews. So the market itself is quite a large one. It's about a $45.2 billion market. And then just a bit more of our traction. So in a year, we are currently our annual recurring revenue is currently $67,000. We've had over 8,000 people sign up onto our platform. We've trained over 600 of them. And then right now what we're focusing on is our B2B, where we're trying to get more licenses or more access in bulk to beneficiaries. And so far we've done about 6 of those. We've gone through Grindstone, Enginee, and we're now working with E-Squared to make all of this possible. A bit more about services. So we do sell 4 courses. Well, 3 of them are sold. The one of them is free. So it's full stack, front end, back end. And then with that, there is on-demand live tutor support. And then from a B2B side, we do sell our courses in bulk to companies that are looking to either upskill their staff or to run programs where there's beneficiaries that then learn how to code. So our pricing looks like this. It's about $450 for a full stack course, and then front end and back end go for about $330. Now I'll just go through that. And then the world that we're trying to build is really one where, education, but through web development across the continent. Quite recently, we started doing placements, so part-time placements now. But as we go forward, we want to do what we do in cloud computing, just data science and other emerging technologies, and also focus a bit more on the placement element where we're now placing people for full-term employment. Here's the team. So we've been together for quite a long time. We started in university together, and then subsequently went into our business full-time post that. And then we're backed by, our angel investor there, and then E-Squared quite recently with quite a sizable check, Enginee as well. And then what we are looking for, just from a funding perspective is, just under, 7 million rand. And with that, the things that we want to focus on is, the product particularly, as well as helping us growing the team, but also market access is really important for us. And then what we'll do with all of that is indeed grow the team, work on our product, and then make sure that we are reaching more individuals that need this kind of education. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. What would you define your kind of USP? What do you do different? Because there's quite a few of similar shops around.
I think the two biggest ones for us is, the interactive learning environment. I wish I could show you the demo for it and how it actually works, but we've really tried to do really well in simulating interactive environments where you're learning on the platform and you're actually committing to the instructor's code in real time as they're teaching you, even though everything is pre-recorded. That's the first thing. And then the second thing is the on-demand tutor support. So when you're working, especially late nights, you do want to know that you're not alone. And when you do get stuck on a certain concept, you don't want to be jumping through YouTube, Stack Overflow and everything. You actually want to interact with somebody. So that's why we've made that available as well.
Awesome. So when I was having a look at your website, perhaps maybe you can just talk to me through your accreditation with MICT CETA. I saw one of your content programs is Introduction to Coding.
Yes.
That's about 3 days, right? And I see that upon completion you get certification for that. Is that accredited certification, or are there only certain aspects of your program that provide accredited certification?
Yeah, so the Intro to Coding course is really like a feeler for you to want to do the rest of the coding. So the Introduction to Coding doesn't have a certification, but once you start doing full stack as well as front end and back end, there's certification for that. With accreditation from the MICT CETA.
Hi, this is very much my space. It's very interesting to hear what you're saying. One of the biggest challenges we face in any of these programs, I think across this industry, is convincing employers that a young person that comes from an alternative learning pathway is hireable into the world of work. So I'm just really interested in your pitch to employing companies and how you're connecting the difference in your product with the difference that they would expect for people in the workplace.
Okay. So our content already itself is industry aligned. So when we actually created the content, we first did our research around, okay, what is actually relevant? And then we worked backwards. And the reason why I mentioned that, it is heavily focused on the practical part. So it's not enough to teach somebody the theory and something. You need to actually get them to do and practice it. So that's probably the bulk of the content or the learning as well, where they actually go through and build real world, solutions so that they can come across real world problems as well. Yeah, no problem. But yeah, so they actually work with real world problems so that they're actually ready very early on once they start committing code to whatever, the system that the organization has, because they've dealt with it previously and not just through theory, but practically as well.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you. We are. Thank you so much, Mvelo. That is a product of Enginee. So, representing us really well. But yeah, thank you so much, Mvelo. Up next, we've got Tom Kirst from Ghana. And you can also just admit that one. Just press admit there at the top. Yeah. Awesome. We've got Tom Kirst from Ghana. So he's going to be presenting Ready for Work. Tom Kirst, you can start sharing your screen. We can see you. You're on the big screen now, so you can. So he can hear us, but he can't see us. All the best.
Hello, everyone. Do you hear me all right?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, thank you very much. I thought my video was going to be played. My company is called Stars from All Nations, but our product is called Ready for Work. Just a second. So everything we do at Xrg is based on one simple premise, which is that young people are smart. And if we can give them the skills and the opportunities to engage the real world, we believe that magic will happen. For this conversation, our vision is to help Africa's budding talent, starting from Ghana, to launch fulfilling careers in high growth companies. As you know, this is an EdTech conversation, so you have the numbers, but it bears repeating that on average, it takes a university graduate about 6 years to find their first jobs. And canvassing that, the issue is boiling down to the lack of career readiness skills, lack of networking opportunities to find access to jobs, insufficient jobs created. It's also an additional burden, a lack of coaching services, as well as lack of access to jobs. Even when jobs are available, a lot of people don't know how to apply and what the jobs need. And now our solution is an immersive digital career accelerator that equips early career professionals and job seekers with in-demand skills and helps hiring managers make data-driven recruitment decisions and not guesswork. Now, how it works is quite easy to understand because we've done the hard work of simplifying the complex module, which is we partner with employers in high growth companies to make a sense of what they need from their superstars. And we use that to build an assessment and recruitment tool that helps us to onboard high potential candidates. Over a period of 6 weeks, we equip them with the relevant skills with industry-driven content, coach support, and the help of intelligent technologies. At the end of that period, our employers have access to the platform to pick and choose candidates that meet their criteria based on the project-based models that they have experienced for internships and full-time jobs. And that brings a closure to that loop. I'm going to these sections and go to our proposition, which is we are bringing fresh perspective to talent development on the continent. Instead of the best of knowledge that students learn with, we are creating project-based learning that is powered by technology, industry-driven content, design and education partnerships, and direct job access, and not just certification. Now, our team has experience of the subject matter. As you can see, the core team members are there. We have a collective experience of over 50 years. And our market is quite elaborate. The IFC says that Africa's digital skills challenges translate to a $130 billion market opportunity. You have the numbers already. Obviously, there are so many other companies in the same space, but our differentiation is quite clear. Our success-based pricing ensures that students don't get burdened with upfront tuition until they secure a job. They learn and get a job and pay back, or it's free for life. They get personalized coach support, analytics to monitor their traction.
Tom, you have 30 seconds left.
Thank you very much. So we adopt our market with events, partnerships, and digital marketing. And of course, we have cohort members that have experienced the platform already. We charge $250 USD upon securing employment from the student, and employers pay $300 USD. We've run 4 pilots, 2 offline to prove the concept and 2 on the digital platform. This number is not representative of today. It's over 100 people on our platform right now. We have a 20-seater capacity digital classroom and 50 capacity ongoing. Our long-term strategy is to raise additional funding to improve the product further, add more talent, expand to new markets, expand our course offering to include entrepreneurship, and of course, potentially get acquisition or merger options. I'm happy to dive deeper into this with your questions. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tom. Hertzi. Anyone with a question for Tom? Cool.
Hi, thanks for your presentation. Tom, I'm interested in the connection that you talk about from the high growth or organizations into changing the behaviors of young people, because often you've got to bridge the gap between the person you're working with and the world of work. And I understand that you're doing it through a digital platform, but what are you doing differently to help people practice and apply those behaviors so that they're ready for the physical work location that they move into?
Yeah, that's a very good question, and I'm sure it's coming from your practical experience in the field. So I have been working on this for a very long time. I started my journey, this present career journey while I was in my second experience of university. I was studying my accounting degree, and I read a report that of all 66,000 young people that graduate in Ghana annually, only 3% find employment. This is old data anyway, because it was 2013. And I wanted to change that narrative, because obviously in the introduction, somebody says education is one primary thing that we cannot tax out from our society. The form might change, the delivery might alter, but it will always remain. So I began to organize several events to make a sense of where the disconnects are, where the shortcomings are happening, and all of those. And it took a lot of learning curves, organizing several events like career fairs, business breakfast meetings, student entrepreneurship week, and we're narrowing down all the things that we're hearing from our employer participants. So indexing that further brought what you see as ready for work. Now, the issue is there is a problem of attitude, there's a problem of content, there's a problem of support services, and there's a problem of delivery to match today's trends. So I have always said that, and data supports that, in a continent where there are only 70 million people that have access to university education, it makes sense to put employers in the driving seat of helping to determine what talent and attitude becomes. So that's where we start. We make a sense of what they need, and we use that to create our content. And with that industry-driven approach, it helps to give people tools that make them minimally viable for employment without minusing the coach intervention. So our experience happens on the platform. I'm trying to log in if it will be quick enough. You might not see the exact things because I'm not a student. Every week.
Tom, so I think there's one more question for you, and then we have to wrap up and go to the next person. So if you can just stop sharing your screen so they can see you as well. You've got one more question, and then if there's more, I think at the end we might have time. Cool. Thank you.
Hi, Tom. Just a quick one. So on the...
yeah, just to wrap up, thanks.
Go ahead. A quick question.
Yeah, I was going to say, in a nutshell, to answer your question better, the differentiation between us is that we don't focus on the certification, which seems to be the big thing in the industry. We focus on making people minimally viable for employment, and that's determined by our employer partners. What the outcome becomes is determined by them. And we've seen 90% of the time it works.
Great. I think that ties into my question, so thanks a lot.
Thank you, Tom. Okay, cool. And that was Tom Chris from Accra Ghana. Up next, we've got the amazing Natalie. So I'll just hand over to you.
Thank you. Do I get a clicker? I keep forgetting this clicker thing. I don't know.
I need to keep it in my hand.
I know.
There you go. I think it's on.
things to hold. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, judges. So my name is Natalie Miller, co-founder of XR Global. So I wanted to ask who here has actually experienced virtual reality? Wow, this is more than I thought. And I would assume most through conferences, roller coasters, or gaming? Yeah? Learning and training? All right, awesome. That's great, we need to talk after. So as I said, I'm Natalie Miller, co-founder of XR Global, 17-year Cape Townian. And I'm here to tell you about, it doesn't work, okay, no it does, how XR Global is utilizing the innovative tool of virtual reality to transform the learning and development space. So we are the first virtual reality learning and development platform built for emerging markets and rural training. We have trained more than 75,000 people across Africa, worked in 8 countries, and are working across 5 regions. So, this is and yeah, I'm having problems with this thing. All right. Between me and my co-founder, Brian, the problem we're trying to solve. So trainees typically forget up to 90% of what they learn a week from training. 90%. Our solution, virtual reality. So our own studies and numerous others, including PwC, Harvard Business Review, Forbes, and others, have shown that the use of VR in training boosts engagement, dramatically increases knowledge retention, and decreases seat time, and enables organizations to enforce consistent, measurable standards at scale. Besides for being half the cost of instructor-led training when done at scale, VR learners were 4 times faster to learn than, and more focused than the e-learning peers, 275% more confident to apply the skills after training, and nearly 4 times more emotionally connected to what they learned than classroom learners. So what exactly is XRG? So XRG has a platform called Meta Academy. Had to use the word meta. It's not Facebook. In a platform with 2 main products. Firstly, offline solo training modules, perfect for rural training and in-field training because its only hardware is the headset and there's no need for internet. And live multi-user platform. So our future vision is to become a VR content hub and fully fledged VR learning experience platform. We provide hardware with our trainings, and we actually co-developed with our hardware partner the first global data-enabled headsets to allow multi-user online training in areas without Wi-Fi. Our current business model has been once-off customized training and then monthly leasing of headsets, but post-investment, the cost will be spread out in a hybrid model. Our traction, you can see we've had clients such as the World Bank. We're going to Brazil to teach in the favelas, micro-entrepreneurs. With MasterCard, we're going to Asia with Asia Development Bank and Central Bank of Philippines to teach fishermen and fisherfolk digital financial literacy, but we've trained across numerous sectors. Our revenue generated has been over $230,000 in 2022 thus far, with $750,000 in either contract or advanced pipeline. We are the only company focused on rural in-field training in VR. We are raising 2 million seed round. Thank you.
Hi, Natalie. That was fantastic. I have 3 questions for you. So you can pick which one you want to answer now, and then we can maybe have a chat after this to answer the other 2. The first question that I have for you is, so as Social Coding, as part of our trainings, we provide virtual experiences in doing chemistry and physics experiments, right? Because we found in rural communities, they don't have brick and mortar labs, right? And it's expensive to put ones in. What we've seen though with our learners is a lot of them experience after some time what we come to call a VR fatigue, right? How do you combat that in your training in the rural context? That's question number one. Question number two, I see you've got the Quest 2, which is quite high end, right? What percentage of your equipment makes up your cap when you're raising, right? And then the third question that I have for you is, blah, blah, blah. What was the third question I had for you? Okay, we'll probably have to, yeah, see, those are the two. Thank you.
Sure, thanks so much. Yeah, I'll start with the latter. So we're device agnostic. I have Quest 2 and I have Pico over there. And then as mentioned with DPVR, we did the data-enabled headsets. So yeah, there's a variety of costs. I was just talking earlier that I bought 3 Oculus while in the States. It's now gone up 2 weeks ago, $100. But that's why we have learned. We didn't want to get into hardware, but we had to get into hardware because we had to do pilots for most people, especially across Africa, that were like, can we really do VR in Africa? And we're like, yeah, let's show you through low-cost pilots. So we've had to now provide the hardware, which we do leasing. And it's actually, like, even with the $2 million investment, it's only $185,000 of it for hardware. So it's actually not that significant. And then in terms of fatigue, it's a very good question. It's something we're still learning about. So, you know, every time we've done a pilot, they've wanted more and wanted to develop more content. So there's always been excitement and energy around it. But it's mostly people that have been brought into, like agri-dealers. We did a study with USAID Feed the Future, brought into a classroom to learn for 3 to 4 hours about, like the agri world. And we instead, immerse them into actually learning about agri in their environment in which, they were supposed to learn. So they were super excited about it and very positive about wanting to use it again. And then we've done several others since then, but we haven't done huge quantities to actually see that fatigue yet. So it'll be something that's very interesting to learn down the road, yeah.
Okay. Just a generic question more than perhaps a pitch question. With your experience that you've had with good traction, what kind of training is best suited for VR? Do you already have like insights, or is it just everything is better in VR?
That's a very good question. So, like, we started in agri. I was running an agri-tech company actually here in Cape Town when I met my now co-founder. And we were struggling with training of field extension officers in the field, and for multiple reasons. I came from Zona, which actually used to be based here, formerly MTZL, and I ran expansion and commercial partnerships for Zona. And we had to train agents, and the way that we were trying to train agents in the field was, sorry, is it Mike or anyone here? No, very ineffective, and still very paper-based, where we do pre- and post-assessment assessments within our modules, where once the headset goes back online, all the data is sent back to the client. So we're taking that strain away. We are also seeing that super agents, we're going out in the field doing individual training of agents, and you go with them, and the first 2 that they go, they're full of energy and excitement, and they do really good training. And then the last 2, it was like 5 minutes, and we're like, what? So this like completely takes that pain point out, right? By all they have to do is put the headset on, and all the training is there, standard and measurable. So to answer your question, since that wasn't, we are actually seeing it as very sector agnostic. It's a tool to provide more effective training. So we have now been doing it in 6 sectors and growing. Yeah, thanks.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Natalie. And we're going to move right up to the next one coming up. Albert from Accra, Ghana. Welcome.
All right. Okay, hello. I'm glad to be here. I've been in the States, I've been in Dubai, but currently in South Africa, I feel at home. So thank you. Okay. So the name of our company is Prodigy Pro. I'm a founder at Prodigy Pro, and we began Prodigy. We began Prodigy to provide data-driven technological approaches to transform the future of careers. So we realized that a lot of people are quite struggling with finding a good roadmap to land the jobs they want. So we began Prodigy to aid people provide the best jobs that they need. And we realized that 98% of people venturing into tech have this problem. So someone could be 40 years and then they do realize that, I've been doing the wrong thing all my life and I want to make a switch to tech now. And so we aid people through this process. 90% of people feel there are inadequate solutions to solve this, and 95% of people within our network thought this was a great idea to solve. So, yeah, one important thing that exists is we realize a lot of edtech solutions begin right with helping people out, and we reverse engineered the process to ensure that we could begin first with finding jobs for people, so tackling the end user, where we could find jobs for people ahead of they applying for those roles. So Prodigy actually started up as an HR tech firm. We didn't begin as an ed tech firm, making sure that we had companies we could provide these solutions for before we ventured into it. So globally, right, because we are thinking big. We're not just thinking in Ghana, we're not just thinking West Africa, we're not just thinking Africa. Globally, the ed tech and future of work industry is worth about $756.64 billion. And, we are hoping to do by year 2 after our pre-seed 3.06 million. So these are our target markets, people trying to, B2B firms trying to have employee retraining, and people trying to venture into tech. We also provide it professionally for people who are just trying to upgrade their skills through. All right. Okay. So Prodigy, we don't just provide a platform. We ensure that we make it possible where people can have access to the jobs that they're actually searching for. These are some of the features we have. We have practical advancement classes to enable everyone land their next role. We employ data-driven methods, meaning that if you do sign up with us, we have a process to ensure that right from the onset, we can track your growth to help you land your dream job. So a lot of people, someone wants to work at Microsoft, someone wants to work at Google. Some people do not land these job roles. And we ensure that the reason why they didn't land it, is available. So when they do apply to their next role, they are sure of getting it. So data-driven methods actually do work. All right, so this is a preview of how our system works. There's a preview. Okay. So I can see you Tiva here, and Enginee also. Basically, this is the competition. Andela is doing a great job in Nigeria, trying to provide skills retraining for hiring. Utiva is also doing a great job. Seamless HR is doing a great job. Talents for Africa is doing a great job. But we believe that with our method, where we do provide data-driven methods, we can do better. Thank you. All right, great. So this is our main revenue source.
You have 5 seconds to wrap up.
Okay,
like
sure.
Your last line, and then face the audience.
Okay, sure. So we have over 7,000 users. We have about 2,000 users coming back every single month to use us. By providing jobs for people, it enables people to always come back. We already have a friend. We've raised over $50,000 through a family and friends round, so we don't get liquidated so early. So basically that's that. Thank you so much.
Thank you very. Hello.
Yeah. Hi.
Yeah. Thank you very much for that presentation. I'm so happy you're as ambitious as I am. So I'm one of those people that likes to stalk people before I meet them. So I was obviously on your website as well. And I think I saw there you've had to date about 321 applications. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Oh, has that number since changed?
321 applications for a role, right?
Yes.
Yes. So
That's not my question. I just wanted you to confirm.
Yeah.
Here's my question for you. Okay. What percentage of those applications have been successful?
More than 30%. So more than 30% in the land have been successful, please. Yeah.
So you've successfully placed them in
yes,
roles?
Please, yeah.
About 30%?
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Okay. It seems quite similar to the other company from Accra.
Yeah.
Do you also have the same kind of business model? I think you just run out of time so basically it's free for the applicant until they get a job.
Yeah, so it's free to apply for a role because we charge B2B firms a subscription-based fee or a one-time base fee, and we make money from that, so it's free to provide their jobs through. And when people undergo our EdTech curriculums too, yes, we do charge $300 for our EdTech courses. So we solve two problems together, where we are charging the B2B firms and providing free jobs to people who have also undergone our courses. So we are able to kill two birds with one stone.
And what's the biggest difference between your solution and Ready for Work?
So our biggest solution is we already have the B2B firms. We do already have the B2B firms, and providing these job roles is free. And lastly, we use the data-driven approach, like I said. So when someone doesn't land their job role, like I said, only 30% didn't get access. We keep the data, and we do share new employable positions with them that they can apply to and land those roles, because someone will be trying to apply for a role, but the skill area they have doesn't match that. Let's say web development for a software engineering role. Probably our company is not searching for that, but they're searching for a UI UX designer to build a prototype. So we do connect them from those angles, please. Yeah.
Great. Albert, you mentioned that you started with HR Tech first, and
Exactly.
you first find the job, and then you look for the candidates.
Exactly.
So do you train the candidates for those jobs, and then are the jobs still available by the time they complete the training?
Yeah, so every single day, new companies are hiring. We started with HR Tech first, simply because we faced a similar problem, right? And getting jobs wasn't easy. So in that angle, we always make sure that there are new jobs available. And when you're done with your course, there are always new jobs, not just on the local scene. Remote jobs are also available. So once you have undergone the skill training through us for any course, you're able to apply for a new work role. Probably the time you are done, there's a new job, but the old one might not be available. So we ensure that there's always new jobs available through people.
It's a similar role. It's a similar role, similar job that will be available.
Exactly. And because I'm coming from a tech background, it's tech I know. Like I know other stuff, so I know business, but we're able to actually help people in the tech area. So from UI UX, web development, app development, e-commerce, and data science. So these are the main focus areas for us.
Awesome. Well done, and thank you, and welcome to South Africa. Okay, cool. Up next is James from Beeline.
Thank you, Tsepo. Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. My name is James Mallet. I'm one of the founders of Beeline, and I believe that the future of Africa's prosperity lies in its untapped human potential. The team and I at Beeline are on the mission to unlock this potential by bridging the gap to effective digital learning. Learning is a vital part of both our personal and our professional development. It is a fundamental part of who we are and who we choose to become. And at the rate that reskilling, upskilling, and retraining is needed in order to keep up with the modern world, it is now more important than ever. Despite the rate of internet and smartphone growth on the continent, still people lack ways to collaboratively develop, customize, and share relevant and effective digital content with their peers, audiences, and teams. And even when the content is available, accessing it at the right time is often still a challenge. And often the practices that we use in traditional classrooms are not directly transferable into the digital world. This is what we are solving at Beeline. We've created a modern way to rapidly collate and create and share effective learning pathways with anyone that has access to a basic smartphone or device. Our web and mobile applications allow people to collate any form of learning resources or mixed media into structured learning pathways that they can store for life and share with other people. We have integrated in a spaced repetition algorithm and concepts such as gamification and social learning to ensure that key knowledge is retained and that learners remain engaged. The platform sector of the African e-learning market is currently valued at over $370 million and is growing at upwards of 11% every year. But still, in South Africa alone, where we spend billions of rand every single year on skills development, over 40% of people between the ages of 25 and 35 remain unemployed. And there's a massive skills gap that still needs to be filled. We are working to close this gap. Beeline operates as a software as a service company with a focus on private organizations and NGOs, those that have continuous training requirements and high knowledge and staff turnovers. We are focused on their low and medium skill workforces. There is also a public-facing side to the platform where learners and creators are able to collate and share learning resources with their peers. Last month, we launched the beta version of our platform to the public, and we are currently working with several groups of learners to gather learning data and to monitor the effectiveness of the platform. Next month, we are starting our first pilots with private organizations and NGOs as the first step towards rolling out our business solution to a largely organic inbound pipeline of interest. Behind the scenes, the founding team consists of myself and two of my close friends, Dylan and Peter. We're all second and third time founders, and between the three of us, we have over 10 years of experience in the online learning and training space. We have developed applications that have been used by thousands of people, and we have on-the-ground experience developing projects throughout South and East Africa. All of our technology and IP is also built in-house. We are currently raising the second half of our community and angel fundraising round and have a focus in the near future on building strategic content partnerships and partnerships with organizations and NGOs in need of building, in need of a tool to be the backbone of their training initiatives. We hope that you join us on our journey as we look to unlock potential in Africa.
Thank you. The platform, is it an app or is it a web service?
Both.
I don't know if I missed this. What is your monetization strategy? If you could just...
So, software as a service.
Software as a service.
Yeah.
And for the non-techie in the room, I just want to make sure I understand what you're talking about. So your platform is an aggregator of learning, of pulling pathways from existing content that is out there and creating a learning pathway individually defined for the user?
Yeah, so that can be for a company if they have existing resources or if they're able to source freely available content anywhere on the web, they can drag it into a structured pathway to follow and add in their own assessments and question tools into that.
Okay, so it's company driven, so you're aiming it towards organizations that are building their own L&D pathways?
Yes.
Thank you.
Wow, that was a quick Q&A.
Cool, thank you.
Yeah. Well done, James. So that was James from Beeline. Up next is Code for Kids. So, Brian.
Thank you, Tebo.
Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Brian.
And I'm Jordan.
And we're representing Code for Kids. And, you know, obviously we know that this is all centered around the future of work, as we've been saying this whole time. And we believe that we are at the center of that. I mean, if you look around us, we know that we're living in a digital world already, and things are going to advance more. So even if we look at, for example, a couple jobs here that are available now and that are going to advance more in future, all of these have one thing in common. You need some form of base knowledge of coding, and that's where we come in. So Code for Kids is a digital coding program designed for primary and high schools for grades 4 to 9. It's 100% web-based, which means that a school only needs laptops, computers, or a tablet, and access to the internet, and a motivated teacher to actually teach the course. And how we achieve this is through teacher development and support. So we know that around the world, existing computer and IT teachers don't have the pre-existing knowledge of how to teach coding and robotics. So that's why we provide them teacher training, tutorial videos for every single one of our lessons, as well as support throughout the year to make sure that they're having success in the classroom. Right, and as you can see, we are kind of global right now, which is pretty good. We've got over 80,000 students learning how to code using our program, and we've trained over 200 teachers to actually teach coding and robotics using our program. And we've actually partnered with Teachers Plus here in Cape Town to give young teachers the opportunity to actually put this on their CV to say, I can actually teach coding and robotics using this program. And just to kind of give you an example of what some of our customers think of us, this is what one of our customers said: a great coding solution for a teacher on the go, but not always in the know. And that's the kind of impact that we like to have on two fronts. So one, in terms of the teacher, and two, from the student's perspective. Right, and pricing-wise, we charge a school between 110 Rand to 250 Rand per student per year. So we made sure that we are very affordable and also something that is very easy to plug and play into a school, which they can actually afford. And I'm going to hand it over to Jordan to actually go into detail on what the kids are actually going to learn using the program.
Cool, thanks, Brian. At Code for Kids, we begin with the end in mind. This is a mantra that we consistently repeat to ourselves in order to build a curriculum of the highest possible standard. We teach real industry standard code, such as HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Python, and we also have ICT, such as Google Spreadsheets. And what we aim to do is bridge the gap between the foundational programming stage, which is Blockly and Scratch, as you all know, drag and drop code, all the way to becoming a full-on software engineer building world-class websites. So up here you can see HTML and CSS, and this is just an example of how a student can change a CSS property and it will automatically update on the right-hand side, which is the website preview that they see. In our curriculum, we have a bunch of different really cool apps and awesome courses that we've built, such as robotics, going all the way from building websites to mobile development, all the way through to creating and customizing your very own virtual drone and flying it in a virtual 3D space.
All right. So yeah, thank you for this opportunity. We know that we are very excited to be here just because we know that we're working on two fronts. Is this mic on?
Hi guys, that was great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I have 3 questions for you. I hope I remember the third this time. My first question is perhaps, maybe let me start with the last question so I don't forget it. I'm assuming because you're charging for this service, your focus is mostly quintile 4 and 5 schools. Is that correct?
Not really. So for example, the Gauteng Education Department worked with us to make sure that they get our program within schools that actually don't necessarily have the necessary budget. So we're not just targeting more of your high-end schools, if that kind of answers your question.
And who paid for this? It was the department?
The actual school themselves, because they're actually government funded.
Okay, but you guys do understand that 80% of quintile 1 to 3 schools don't have these kind of labs, number one, and also don't have that kind of funding. So I'm assuming it's the latter 20% that would be. Okay. Do you guys have a plan in place for reaching schools outside of that quintile?
Yes, actually. So it's not necessarily directly a part of our business model, but we do work with individuals. For example, there's a guy, his name is Temba. His organization is called Silulo. So they have mobile classrooms that they use our program to be able to teach students within low-income areas. And we are looking to work with more individuals like that to have a better impact in those areas.
Awesome. Okay, then very quickly, my last 2 questions. The first one is, you're obviously aware that the government has rolled out a pilot in introducing coding and robotics in school. How well aligned is your curriculum to the draft curriculum that they have submitted? And the second question is, seeing that you guys are now global, right? And again, you charge for a service. How different are you to open source organizations such as code.org that provide the same thing but for free?
Okay, cool. So the first question was, before the code.org question, it was?
It was around your curriculum and how well
aligned. Yes. Yeah. So when they announced it a couple of years ago, we were like, okay, what are we going to do? But then when we actually looked at it, we actually realized that we've already aligned about 70 to 80% of it. And since the announcement, we've actually started developing new courses to make sure that we are 100% aligned with the CAPS curriculum. So our existing customers and our new customers starting next year will be perfectly in line.
Okay, sorry, could you just repeat the code.org question?
Yes. Your service is very similar to open source organizations such as code.org that provide the same thing for free. What would make me want to pay for what you have versus going open source?
So I think it's more the teacher support that we offer, and we, Brian, help me out.
Okay.
I'm just a developer. Help me out, Brian.
Okay.
Okay.
I make the cool stuff. Brian, you sales. Go.
So basically, I take what Jordan builds, and the reason why schools love us so much is because of the support that we provide the teacher, and also the fact that it's relevant code. So majority of schools at first, when they're using Scratch and they look at us, they're like, okay, no, this is awesome, right? And the thing with code.org, as much as they have some relevant coding, it is a little bit too gamified. Whereas with us, it's line-based code. It's actually something that a student, once they've interacted with it, when they get to high school and grade 10, when they have to choose, okay, cool, I want to do computers or doing coding, they've got a good bit of knowledge before they actually develop more further. So I think that is the difference between us and them, just the relevance.
2 quick questions. How do you define active users? And 2, what keeps you awake at night?
Okay. Were you asking how many active users? Oh, okay. So how do we define active users? So we actually have qualitative data for that. So obviously a school would send us how many students within a specific grade they have. So for example, if SACS has 300 students, that's obviously 300 students at SACS. And we have like over 100 and something schools. So it'll be, yeah, that's why we rounded the number, yeah. By year, yeah. So at the beginning of every single year, a school will send us their new class list, and we'll be able to upload the students, and we track their progress from there. And yeah, I think that's about it. And then the second question is, what keeps me up at night? Us as a company, the fact that we're doing good, but there's still so much more to achieve. I mean, the challenge is there with the CAPS curriculum, and there's so many schools and so many students that we haven't been able to reach yet. So that's what keeps us up at night.
Thank you so much to Jordan and Brian from Code for Kids. That was a very interesting question, Tembi, about like really getting into the numbers in terms of who we're reaching. Going back to the point we made earlier. So I'm just going to give, if Grant is on, can you just admit that person there? So Grant and Neil from iAfrica. So they're going to be presenting online. But before we get to them, just curious to hear in terms of anyone from the judges or from the audience, how do we solve for reach? How do people design technology that accesses sort of the underserved, but also still is commercially and financially viable? Like, that's what keeps me up at night. Like, really wanting to understand business models that are like sustainable, serving the underserved, reaching the hard to reach, but still being commercially viable and sustainable as well. That's sort of my question. So if anyone has, okay, wait, we have a response. I didn't think anyone would bite.
Everybody has TV, and it costs nothing to watch TV. It costs very little to transmit not only audiovisual content, but also data, files, all sorts of things. All you need is the right kind of receiver, and smart TVs are they allow the operating system to be modified and receive data files.
Fantastic. We actually have use cases for this. So in Kenya, Zambia as well, there's a couple of startups that are working within the early childhood education space that are using TV as the sort of the core medium of reaching the hard to reach, while sort of building partnerships with publications like Netflix. So thank you for that. Grant? Nothing. Okay, cool. We'll just skip to the next one, which is the last pitch for the afternoon. Grant?
I'm here if you were calling on me.
Yeah, okay. I was. So if you don't mind just doing a presentation, so it's just sharing your screen, we won't be able to play the video, so you can just share the screen now. And awesome.
Can you see everything okay and hear everything okay?
We can hear you. We can hear you, and we can see the presentation, but you won't be able to see us.
Okay, that's fine.
That's the beauty of technology.
Okay, well, thanks for having us, Tsepo, Enginee, and everyone else in the audience. My name is Grant McNulty, and I'm here today to talk to you about Digi, which focuses on learning and skills for African language speakers. So let me get my slides. To start off with, I would like you please to think about the last time that you learned something new. So maybe it was the new version of Excel, or maybe it was a new concept in business development. And to that, I'd like you to add the challenge of learning something new in a language that isn't your own. So try out learning Excel in French or business development in German, for example, because that is the reality for the vast majority of Africans on the continent for whom English or French or Portuguese or another European language is not their mother tongue. So it may interest you and surprise you to learn that of the 1.3 billion Africans on the continent, only 0.5% speak English as their mother tongue language. And that pales in comparison to the many other languages that people speak as their first language. So my brother Niall and I, who is, I hope, is in the audience, got to thinking and talking, and we said, you know, it's kind of what you were just talking about, Sebo. How do we create digital platforms for this underserved majority? And we did some basic maths, and we said, well, what if you take the most used communication tool on the continent, WhatsApp, digital communication tool, and to that you add digital learning content in people's mother tongue languages, in African languages. And with that, we came up with Digi. Digi is a place where, number one, people can access and do micro courses on WhatsApp and in their mother tongue languages. And number two, they're then equipped with skills to go out into the job market, to start their own business or whatever they choose. If we dive a bit deeper, WhatsApp is a learning chatbot that's specifically designed for African language speakers. And through it, we deliver micro courses. So micro courses are short, they're easy to complete, they're accessible. The idea is that we're not looking at high-level coding, rather we are looking at basic things like how to use computers, searching for information online, identifying fake news, basic digital marketing, etc. Learners can choose at their own pace, so they can start and stop whenever they choose. They can do assessments, come back to them whenever they have time or data. And data is a key question. You know, we are designing for low resource environments, and to some degree, WhatsApp enables that. You can buy a gig of data on WhatsApp for 29 Rand or so. The skills, the courses focus on skills development. So as I said, it's basic digital literacy, basic financial literacy, the basics of running a small business. And Niall and I didn't just dream this up. We spent time and effort speaking to over 8,000 people, the vast majority of whom told us that A, they wanted to learn in their mother tongue language, and B, what they wanted to learn. So we then developed a prototype, a course on basic digital literacy that we deliver in the Zulu language. We currently welcome over 1,000 learners each month. We are looking at refining our impact and our learning metrics. And we see a lot of potential for this to scale to other regions and languages throughout the continent. In terms of revenue models...
Sorry, Grant. Can you just wrap up on the revenue model? You've got 30 seconds left.
Okay. We don't see the end user as paying for this. Rather, we see government or corporations paying for their residents or their staff. The costs are tiered. So obviously, the more you use, the cheaper it is. And finally, our team consists of digital learning specialists, people who help us with course development, obviously translation, project management, we have a WhatsApp business partner, and we obviously need partnerships for growth. And that's Digi in a nutshell. Thank you for listening.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Grant. If you can, yeah, perfect. We can see you, everyone can see you in the room, and you've got a couple of questions.
Hi, Grant. It's Fiona. Thank you for sharing that. Very interesting. I would like to understand how you measure your impact. If you're doing a short basic course by WhatsApp, what impact are you trying to achieve and how do you measure it?
Thank you. That's a good question. There are a few things, Niall, you might want to step in as well, but I think course completion is one of the things. And then we haven't, there are things that we want to build in that we have yet to build, which will be kind of post-study assessments, asking people, getting feedback from people where they rate learning in their own language, where they say if they would have done the course if it was only available in English, follow-up messages a few months later to see the impact, have people found a job, have they started their own business, et cetera, depending on the course.
Thanks.
I think that was all the questions. Amazing. Well done, Grant. And thank you. I know earlier I said we have one more company to pitch. We actually have two more. I forgot my friend from Kenya, so Kiko, if you can come up. I didn't forget you. It was just like I had that troubling question that keeps me up at night. So that's what happened. So, but yeah, Kiko.
Definitely present this as a gift. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Nice to be here. My name is Kiko. I'm the CEO and founder of Angaza Elimu. Oh, okay, sorry. I hope you didn't count that. So I can start. Sorry, technology. So by 2035, it's estimated that Africa alone will be providing more workforce than the rest of the world. But there's a problem there. The current education system that we have pretty don't qualify to produce this standard type of skill workforce. And so at Angaza Elimu, what we're basically trying to do is fill the gap of quality and relevance of education so that we can be producing students who are ready for the workforce in two ways. One, to become as entrepreneurs, and to be ready to be employed in the workforce. So how are we doing that? We do have two products and one service. The first product is an adaptive and interactive e-learning platform that personalizes the learning journey of every student and amplifies their engagement with teachers. On this platform, we have over 27,000 students being active daily on the platform. And one of the biggest impact metric is that these students have managed to improve by 24% on their academic performance. We've managed to train over 3,000 teachers, and the goal is to be able to support teachers to understand how they can utilize tech tools to better teach, and they are saving over 10% of their time by reducing academic burden or administrative burden. But today, I'm here to talk to you about our Innovator Science, Technology, Engineering, Art, Math, and Entrepreneurship program, a program of training that we're looking in creating innovation for students at K-12. So we say we don't have to wait for students to go to university, start thinking about the courses that they want to study. Can they start as early as possible? And so it's basically a technical and professional skills training, and it is in different scales. So one, we want to expose to them to understand the different types of skills that they can go, and go into an enrichment level where we now start to training them about these technical skills. And later on, when they're advancing, then they can still start handling industry-related, or what we call ready to work. And one of our biggest training program is on Internet of Things. And today, I brought all these together from Kenya. So we've developed this as a smart home kit. And basically what this smart home kit is, think of your home. What is that you want to control? How could you live better in your home or smarter? And that's why we're all speaking about IoT, because everyone wants to work smarter and make control of their life. And so with this kit, students are able to learn different aspects of building this kit, how the technical ways of you can control your home across lighting, security, intrusion, and all that, and they're able to learn that. And so our business model for this is software as a service and more of like a hybrid training. And so for this Internet of Things training course that we're doing is a modular basis and probably costs about $75. For the kids, we're charging $95. And we are on a B2B2C model because we do understand, especially for the target of the low-end customers that we have, we need to get someone to support them. And we do sell to development partners, donors, and basically the schools that are able to pay for this product, and for the parents who have the ability or who are on a more of a high-level income thing. One of our biggest training on our B2B is through strategic partners. Our biggest partner is Liquid Intelligent Technologies, and we have in 62 schools for this training program, and we've managed to train over 1448 students for this team program. This is our historical growth. Last year we managed to have 219,000 in terms of revenue. This year we're looking in terms of 0.95. We shy of about 100K to hit that mark, and we're looking forward in year 5 to be generating over $17 million in revenue. We're currently doing our seed round fundraising of 2.85. We have 500,000 committed right now, and this will go across our business, product, and covering much of our operational expenses. And this is our team, so people who have gone through the Kenyan education system who do understand the problem that exists and are looking forward to make a commitment, and this cuts across our business, technology, and the product. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much for that. Your government, just announced that they have officially brought in robotics and coding into the school curriculum nationwide, right? Does that affect your business in any way? That's my first question. And then the second one, do you have any current government partnerships? Are you partnering with this program for government? And I had a third question. Oh my goodness. Always the third question. Go ahead, thank you.
Yeah, so I'm super excited that the government has been able to approve this. So this makes our work easier to sell the schools, and not just about selling to the schools, but to remove this program from being an after-school program to a program that's been implemented in the curriculum. So it comes at a time when we just finished making our kids, so it will make our work quite easy. Actually, we're going to change these numbers. I'll probably double, because schools are going to buy the kits and they're going to buy into the program. So pretty much easy for us.
Perfect. You're very lucky. I remembered my third question.
Yeah. and so, yeah, we do have partnerships. So one of our biggest partners, as I said, is a B2B2C, is working with UNICEF. So through the Giga project. So we have 264 schools for the e-learning, and we're looking forward to having that for the STEAM program. And we're working together in partnership with the government, because it's a UNICEF government project in terms of targeting for the schools.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm very interested in how companies like ours, look at impact measurement from a sustainable and tangible perspective. I'll give you an example. At Social Coding, what we do is when we look at impact, we don't only measure impact at a beneficiary level, it's beneficiary, household, and then community, right? Tell me your thinking around your impact measurement when you run programs like this in schools.
Great. So one, we do look at about the qualitative nature of our impact measurement. And so the first thing that we look in, as I mentioned, is I said it about quality and relevance. And so when we speak about quality, is are students being able to improve on their academic performance? Are they gaining the mastery on foundational literacy and numeracy? And I mentioned a statistic of about students making about 24% improvement on their academic performance. That's the first one. The bit on relevance, especially for this STEAM program, is are actually students being able to translate what they're learning, the technical skills, to probably prototype such kits that we have. And so when we in this program that we have in the 62 schools, one of the biggest projects that I saw is the students being able to build an IoT program in health tech. That what we're working with Liquid Intelligent Technologies, how could they have these become a business by themselves? And these are kids who have about 2 years to complete their secondary school. So those are our biggest two qualitative measurements of improving quality and relevance education in Kenya and Africa. Thank you so much.
Well done, Kiko. And thank you for the presentation. Cool. Last but not least, Jared from Yenza.
There we go. Thanks. Hello, everyone. We made it. My name's Jared, co-founder and CEO of Yenza, your smart career guide, and apologies for advanced speaking like someone pressed the fast forward button, but I've got a lot to get through. The future of work's not only about skills, which we've heard a lot about today, it's also about choosing the right career path. And not choosing the right career path can lead to vicious cycles that are happening at a scale that we'd be shocked to really understand. Large collectives of our youth segment are picking the wrong careers, struggling to get jobs, pursuing pockets where there are no opportunities, struggling in their work, not understanding why, being fired, quitting, re-entering the unemployment sector, and feeling more despondent than when they started. If the goal is for us to effectively integrate the youth into their modern economy, this is a foundational element that needs to be tackled. Younger generation means greater expectation. It's not just about what you earn, it's about flexibility, values, fulfillment, and culture. More options means more complexity, more things to think about. The world of work's becoming hyper-competitive, and it is very overwhelming for young people. We did surveys with our users. We asked them to list their top careers. On average, they could only list 5 to 7 careers, and all of those careers were legacy careers. No new careers, no high-growth careers. We asked them, how did they find navigating online? 85% said overwhelming, engages people through their own decision-making process, and we're putting all-in-one career services under a single platform. One of the pillars to our business is career pathing, where we assess and profile individuals, and we've built our own underlying recommendation engine, which then personalizes career path recommendations across various phases and stages of an individual's career. How we do that really well is we've become real leaders in the assessment space. This is a legacy industry that really needed a major facelift. So we developed very engaging, multilingual. We have a language translation management system built into our platform, fast engaging formats, and we take a very holistic view at understanding people. The second pillar to our business is around employability. So we've got our own personal development and career readiness courses, and we partner with other skill solutions where we provide access to high quality, credible online courses. We've got a variety of tools and features on the platform, and what's nice is we've developed these all to be modularized, so we can create custom configurations for various kinds of use cases. Core to our business is around amplifying and augmenting other people's solutions. So very much a B2B2C type model, and we have very advanced capabilities in order to do this. A couple use cases. We work with the Curo Group across all of their high schools. They deliver our platform to 69 of their high schools. They use our platform to deliver high-quality career guidance to everyone, which is often reserved for people that can only afford it. And they use our insights to get information around subject choice and behavioral profiles, which help with planning and resourcing. Another use case is with Standard Bank. If you Google Standard Bank plugged in, this is a youth platform that we've developed. It's a white label platform of Yenza, and Standard Bank have some very bold ambitions with this, trying to reach 1 million youth across the African continent, and that is powered by Yenza. Our business model, our value proposition, we're more affordable, we're more streamlined, and we're more innovative. So we save people time, we save them money, and we make them look good. Our business model, we have a B2C business model, but that's not really the core to our business. It's B2B2C, where we do development for other people, and we have a license fee structure. We also do partnerships with joint ventures and commission structures. Our traction, we've been operating for 3 years, 2 of those years being strict COVID, so we're quite happy with these numbers. We've got 20,000 users on the platform, 120 paying schools with 0% churn, 250 subsidized schools, and these are schools from quintiles 2 and 3. We've strategically partnered with the biggest bank in Africa. We've got a revenue run rate of $15 million or $1 million this year, and we've got some very nice pipeline to increase that number. What's next? Market expansion, product fit expansion, and really going deep on data and insights. The ask is around partnerships. We're really trying to play an ecosystem role here, and we'd love to partner with everyone, including the Student Hub. And thank you very much. And we have an awesome team.
Hi. The whole sort of assessment industry, as you said, is quite legacy in the way in which it's approached. How did you develop a level of conviction amongst your customer base for what you've built and how you're assessing candidates? And secondly, if you I think you indicated 250 schools in terms of sponsorships. Who predominantly are the sponsors? How do you engage with them? And how do you essentially differentiate what you sell to them versus a host of other services?
Cool. How we differentiate, okay, I'll leave that for last. Sorry, so your first two questions were? Yeah. All right, so that saying, simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. So we've created assessments that are very easy to use. So we've done over 150,000 assessments, and one of the key metrics for us is completion rate. So we've got a 90% completion rate, and this is completion from people in all kinds of walks of life with different kinds of devices. And what we do is you can call it gamified, but they're very interactive, very easy to understand. And then when you layer on top of that the multilingual component, people are able to take assessments in their mother tongue, they're able to switch in and out, and the way in which we analyze that data. So the differentiation for our product is not that we do assessments, is that we combine assessments with an entire journey. So that's where the differentiation comes in. So we analyze the data. We've got really, really smart algorithms. We take a very holistic view. We've got a very sophisticated framework and back-end system that then can really do a rich profile of an individual, and then the system then kicks in and then starts to make those recommendations, whether it be careers, subjects to choose, courses to take, and various other things, tertiary institutions to pursue. Oh, and the lower quintile schools. So we work with the government, and so what we're doing there's a initiative called the GEC initiative, General Education Certificate. Government's going to be introducing a certificate for grade 9s that drop out. That's a major kind of inflection point in the education sector. And so they're utilizing our assessments through their own WhatsApp, data-free WhatsApp bot, as well as utilizing the frameworks that we've created to guide through subject choice and tertiary decisions. So that's how we scale into the quintiles 2 and 3 type schools.
Thank you. You asked my question about inherent bias in psychometric tools, I think, which is quite interesting.
Yep.
So I won't waste time on going back to that one, but it's a very interesting subject.
Yeah.
What I wanted to ask as well was, are you, in terms of the defining and talking about a career pathway, are you utilizing any of the existing competency frameworks that describe and match young people to a career pathway, or is it just a generic, a doctor looks like this and a lawyer looks like this?
We look at a few kind of frameworks. One of them is the 21st Century Skills Framework, so we do look at that. And then we work with educational psychologists, academics, we work, you were talking about bias, we work with one of the top psychometrists in the country who has developed essentially the assessments with us. So we're taking, I would say, expertise in different areas and then essentially creating our own framework in order to guide that process.
Okay, cool. I think, again, sorry, just to add to that, there is a legacy bias in career pathwaying already built into a lot of things. So
are you saying the kinds of careers that get suggested?
Yes.
Yeah, so what we do there is we don't list all of the careers that are out there. We only focus on high demand, high growth careers.
Okay.
So right now we have 450 careers in our career library, and those careers we've researched with a global and South African context, and whenever we go to a different market, so for example, we're going into Ethiopia now, so now we're doing market research around what are the kinds of careers that we go on jobs boards, we look at what's being posted, and we do some research to then go and say, right, this is where the demand is.
Okay, great, thank you.
Well done, Jared. And that's it. So those are all the pitches for this afternoon. And I'm just going to give the judges some time to just deliberate, but also get some water. There's also wine available at the back. So 10 minutes, we have to just take a break, go to the bathroom, grab a glass of wine, grab some food at the back while the judges deliberate, and then we'll come back and announce the winners. If you hear my voice, clap once. If you hear my voice, clap twice. Okay, no one can hear me. If you hear my voice, clap once. Okay, it's fine. Hey guys. Hello. I've got 100 rand to give, so anyone that wants. Thank you. Okay. Amazing. Krista? Now we can announce the thing together, if you don't mind. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. And really appreciate you guys taking your time off this afternoon to be with us. Like I said earlier, thank you so much to the judges for their questions, for their inputs and their insights. Really appreciate it. And super well done and congratulations to the guys that pitched. Well done. All of you guys were amazing, including Tom, Chris, and Grant, who pitched online. I know that was not necessarily the most ideal situation, but thank you. Before we announce the judges, I just want to give a super, super special shout out to our sponsors and our partners who, again, made this super possible by sponsoring not only prizes, but also just giving us a space. Innovation City, shout out, and for setting up the space as well. Annie, Kino, the team at the back, thank you so much. Really appreciate you guys. The Cape Innovation and Technology Initiative, City, our parent company. You guys have made our work, not only just in this event, but just everything that we do within Enginee possible. So we really appreciate you guys. Katedo Royal, who's here, who's one of our innovation partners and has offered the winner some strategic mentorship to help them take their solutions to the next level. And I know a lot of you guys have done so much. Ground Floor, who's offered their learning design course, accessible to anyone, to all the participants. You guys will have access to Ground Floor's learning design course, which they've partnered with the University of Cape Town, as well as Get Smarter. Those courses are live there. And then Job Tech Alliances is an African alliance platform for startups like you guys, and they've offered access to their community through their partnership. What is it called again? Membership. So you guys have access to the Job Alliance membership. You guys have accessing not only a million of job seekers across the continent, but also partners, employers across the sort of future of work ecosystem. HubSpot for startups. There's credit for everyone who participated in the event, but there's more AWS credit for the winner as well. We'll announce the details of but yeah, thank you to these guys who made this event possible. Now we're gonna announce the prizes or the winners. So I'm gonna ask for Iro, Krista, to just come up, and then yeah, we'll do the prize. So in first place, so these guys are walking away with 25,000 Rand cash, as well as 50,000 Rand worth of credit on Amazon, AWS Head Start, HubSpot, and Notion. And there is also second place, who is walking away with 50K worth of credits as well. And then third place, also walking away with 50K worth of credit. And then in third place is XR Global, Natalie. Yeah. Just messed it up. And then in second place is Angiza. So I'm kick off. So congratulations, well done. Amazing. And then I'll give it to Kirsta to announce the first place.
Cool. In first place, we have Yenza. Well done.
And then lastly, before I hand over to Era, an honorable mention to Zaya as well, who is super, super close. So shout out to Zaya.
So just before we continue, Seppo asked us to come and sponsor one of the prizes, and when we were looking at these together with Sheila, I have to say it was a really, really difficult choice to make, and it was so difficult that I failed. So instead of one prize, I always going to give two prizes, two grants worth 25,000 rand both, to two of the companies. We do want to work probably with most of you, so we're going to be in touch anyway. But the 25,000 rand grants for developing an MVP goes to Beeline. And yeah, you can come. These prices are good as well. And then Jensa. Yeah, you.
So Jens is actually going away with 50K today. So well done to you. Again, guys, thank you so much. We have about 15 minutes in the space to have some drinks, get to know the winners for today. But everyone else.
One more thing. Actually, two, not three. Two. There's a banner there, but it's totally outdated. We made that end of last year. It says 10 million, blah, blah, blah. We've actually just passed 16 million. So we're gonna at least to those 16 million get free access to quality education. Right. And then I'd like to, one more thing. There's a special person who wants to come and say something. Okay. I know it's a little bit of a ad hoc, but what are we gonna do?
Hello everyone, I would like to wish Uncle Tsepo a happy birthday. One, two, three. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Tsepo. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful day, and thank you so much for coming. If you want to hang around, the team is still around, and congratulations to all of you. And well done to Tom, Chris, and Grant, who are online. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us, and thank you, Fiona, Minette, Hertzi, Tembi, and Ira. Thank you so much. We really, really appreciate it. It goes a long way. And thank you so much to the team for making this possible. Shout out to Pimelo. I don't know where she is. She's been project leading this. To Bushle and the entire team of Filwe. Everyone. Krista, thank you.